Thank you for stopping by. We truly appreciate your time and support. Whether you're here for the first time or coming back, it means a lot to have you with us on this journey. There's always something new to discover. Now let's go and get to where we want to get to.
All right, let's see. Today I want to talk about how you know that divorce is the answer, because that is something I think so many women struggle with. I mean, this is your life partner, right? You committed to them for life. You've built a life together. You have kids together. You have a home together, and you know divorce is just going to blow that all up. So I'm just going to share with you my story of how I knew. We had come back from vacation. I was running through expenses. Mind you, I was homesick with COVID, and all three kids had COVID, and he still went to work, which was a little frustrating because his work was a business that he had run for 8 years that never brought in enough money to even pay for our kids' daycare, and then ultimately the nanny. Like, it wasn't even close, but after 8 years, he still didn't want to give it up, and I wasn't going to push because I didn't want him to resent me. So I was going through our finances just to check our expenses and stuff, and I saw he had taken money out of our joint account for his business, which was pretty darn frustrating. And I called him out on it, and he was like, oh yeah, I just forgot to tell you, I'll pay back. Okay, I mean, fine, that's not a huge deal. But I posted in a closed Facebook group I'm in, just venting frustration that, once again, he's committed to this business that is just taking time away from the family and not contributing at all. When, he could have been a stay-at-home dad, that would have been awesome. Like, he could have done anything, and it would have contributed more than that business, which was just his thing. I mean, he worked weekends and stuff on it, even though it never made any money. So I had really worked hard to let go of that resentment, and I was doing pretty good with it. And in my post, it was like, oh, this is so frustrating. This comes up every so often. I just need to vent about it, and then, I'll feel better. And one of my Facebook friends messaged me, and she was like, you don't have to settle. And then I searched in posts in that Facebook group. I searched my post and looked back, and it was like every 3 months, the same couple of issues over and over and over. And mind you, we had gone to counseling. Like, it's not like I hadn't brought this to him and said, hey, this is not working for me. This is not working for our family. But then at the end of the day, I didn't push the issue because it just resulted in fighting and no change. So, I decided at one point to just let go and accept him for who he was. But then this friend pointed out, you don't really have to settle. And it was that realization that that pattern was happening again and again, and that it was settling, and that I would rather be alone than be with a, quote, partner who is not a partner in any of the ways that mattered to me. Not the finances. That didn't, that wasn't a big deal. What was a big deal is that he wasn't contributing to the family. He didn't want to make joint decisions about our finances. He didn't want to help me plan retirement savings. He wasn't active. I basically would compare him to a moderately helpful teenager. He would do some stuff if I delegated it to him, but he wouldn't always complete it, and I always had to follow up. So it was the kind of thing where if he were your employee, you probably wouldn't keep him around. I mean, he loved our kids. He was a semi-engaged dad, but he was never a partner in that, if I worked late, I couldn't trust him to make sure bedtime was taken care of and the kids had pajamas on and that homework was done and dishes were done. He would feed them dinner, and I would get home and everybody would be playing and there would be a huge mess. So he didn't behave like an adult partner. And I realized I would rather be alone, knowing that there's a possibility I might find that person and that I might not, than have to spend so much energy trying not to resent this person. And that was kind of the moment.
For someone that has 3 kids and a husband and looks at the past carefully, then reviews hers and everyone else's present, there is little that can be done about the Clarity's future. This husband is not going to make it in this family. What do you do when you actually can see the future? No matter how bleak or dismal it may seem, you actually have one of the rare moments that allow you to construct a decision. For him, it is unfortunate that the relevancy in his life has come at an early age. The time he has used is the buildup that people get early in life, and he misused his. Now he knows that he will never get a second chance. For her, chances will always be available to give. For you see, There is no difference in the chances she has given and the chances she will give.
You never want to hurt a spiritual baddie. You never want to mess with somebody who ranks high in the spirit realm. You never want to do them dirty because you will suffer. And we're going to get a front row seat to that suffering, and we're probably going to enjoy it. Yeah. So I know a lot of you guys know that recently I caught my husband of 11 years living a double life. And I caught him, meaning that the person he was living a double life with was a fellow coworker that knew about me. And they would talk to each other during work hours, hang out at lunch. He would pretend to go to like work events. He would be going to hang out with her. So what I did was I meditated on it one night. I said, something's wrong. Like, my marriage is good, but I feel like something's off. Can you please show me what that is? Can you please tell me what that is? And you know what I heard in my head? I heard, just send his iMessages to your iPad. So what did I do? I did that at like 2:33 in the morning. I did that one night. And guess what? By 10 a.m., I had a whole conversation with them from like 8 to 10, from like clocking in till 10 a.m. when I decided to get up that morning. So I had all the proof that I needed. So I sent him the text messages and I said, when you get home, I want you to leave. And he said, I'm sorry. And I said, no, you're not sorry. We both know you're not sorry. You're not sorry, but you're going to be. So since he was having a little work situationship, I sent those messages to his work, his boss and human resources. So this happened Thursday. He goes to work from Monday through Friday last week. Really, really stuck in his ego, really cocky. Didn't care about my feelings, right? Didn't respect me. So he was like begging me not to send them to his job. And I said, I'm so sorry, I already did that. Because, here we are thinking that you're going to work and you're not at work. You're at work, but you're not at work. So also gave HR her number as well so that they could know who it is. And let's see, a whole week goes by. So I find out Thursday, the previous week. He goes to work Monday through Friday. He goes back to work this Monday. He comes home and he's fired. Him and his work situationship both got fired. I wasn't seeing any divine justice, so I did some justice work last night. I told my guides, this is what I would like, but, if that's not in my highest good or in his highest good, then I grant you full range to bring me divine justice however best you see fit. And today, they both got fired. And of course, she texted me trying to threaten me that I'm going to get fired. And I said, oh, honey, I'm actually a good person. Unlike you, I go to work, not to hoe. But that's cute. And she said, you messed with the wrong bitch. And I said, no, I think that's what you're experiencing right now.
Seems very positive and peaceful, the way she is attracting this so-called energy. Additionally, making the energy work for her seems awkward. There is no reason why anyone on this planet would try to disturb and make energy work for them. There is no guide for it. No one can make it work for them. You can't grab it. You can't store it on a shelf and pull it out when you want to use it. You can't see it. The dynamics are such that they fall into the same place as God. That she's thinking it's working for her, it is unfortunate, but it's not. She does have something on her side. It is to see the problem and simply walk away. She will have a difficult time adjusting what she believes because she forces herself to misdirect the energy that has always been there. Basically, we were able to see the end of a constructed scenario. There were 3 people at play. Again, she could have just walked away.
Is the one thing I wish I would have known about depression after my divorce. In one of Jane Roberts Seth's books, she says, very simply, depression is the result of feeling powerless. Powerless to change your circumstance and feeling trapped by your life. If you are feeling depressed right now, that's the first step, just admitting it and going, okay, I don't feel great. I feel really depressed. Then the next step is remembering that you are powerful. You just lost some momentum. That's it. And I get it, I was depressed. This is easier said than done to just make a change. But the way to get through this is take baby steps and look at the area of your life that you're most troubled about and make that change there. And while this is not easy at first, staying in that pain and sadness is not any easier. You can do it, and I'm here to help.
Depression. If applied correctly, it can mean the world to you, some of which can put you at ease. But if applied inaptly, the problem will continue and possibly last a long time. The problem isn't depression, but the belief of what it can and cannot do. The idea that you have any of the issues that make up a clearly identifiable superiority or inferiority complex is a state of mind that any of the factors medically tested should provide a solution of the problems which make up underlining the reality that depression lasts. It is certainly a key and a valuable one at that. Just remember, the struggle that will keep depression at bay is the key that opens up the door. Thank you for your valuable time today. It is our choice that we spend this time together. While you may or may not see some of these videos for what they are, always remember, these are only choices that are given to us to make our best decision. We don't know whether they're winners or losers, no one does. It is simply an abstract thought trying to make you think. Thanks again.